What's happening? So today I want to talk about how I, as a gamer, try to not worry too much about the state of gaming, and neither should you. Now, I'll be the first to admit that tracking the status of the industry, looking at, the state of Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo and what's happening with Ubisoft, it can be interesting and entertaining. I watch plenty of gaming news. I often will put on like the podcasts from Digital Foundry, Mystic, Scale Up, yeah, you name it. A lot of those. As long as they have good vibes, there are some YouTubers who just go and complain and everything is the end of the world. I'm not into that, but I do see a lot of gaming news. Often I'll podcast it. If it's kind of like my default sometimes if I'm doing the dishes or laundry or something and I just want some interesting stuff in the background. So I indulge in that. I keep up. I talk about it too sometimes. So yeah, I indulge in that stuff. And I'm not going to claim that I don't care. Like, I'm just like super in Zen mode and nothing that happens in the world bothers me. No, I do. I care. I want the gaming world to be healthy and lively. I want creative people to make a living. I would like to be one of the creators, not developing games, but like as someone who's in the gaming commentary space and doing that, right? So I want gaming. I want the gaming industry to do well and be something that gamers can be proud to be a part of. I want gaming to continue to become more accepted by the mainstream as a form of art and entertainment. Just like books, film, sports, whatever other thing. So that when someone says, I'm going to go home and play a new Dex build in Elden Ring, it's socially equivalent to someone saying, yeah, I'm going to go home and binge Netflix. I want, oh, for my free time, yeah, I like to play competitive shooters online to be treated the same way as when someone says, yeah, my free time, I like to do fantasy football. My fantasy football team's doing great this season. I want gaming to be treated as an acceptable normie pastime, just like those other things. Right now, there's still some stigma around gaming, but there's less and less over time. I want that trend to continue. That's a little bit of an aside, but I just wanted to make sure I mention that. Now, in the context of like the state of the industry, obviously there have been a lot of issues recently, such as the RAM and SSD prices like doubling and still going up because of all these AI data centers and the tariffs, all that. And the companies that produce these components, of course, they have no qualms selling out us gamers who made them successful in the first place. So thank you, late stage capitalism, by the way. They just immediately abandon the market that's been loyal to them all these years for this new buyer. They get a good deal, from the AI companies. They're like, well, screw the gamers. We'll give all our RAM to these guys. We make more money, right? So, and these prices, again, seem to be still going up. So a lot of issues, and it's making gaming, PC, console, whatever platform you're on, it's getting expensive everywhere. And unfortunately, we also are seeing, in conjunction with this, a lot of tech companies really seeming to want to push to make gaming, to make it unaffordable to own any of your stuff. Turn it into a subscription. They want you to rent out all of your storage. They want you to rent out all of your processing power so that it turns into a subscription service and they can really screw you. We know that's what they want. Whether it happens, I hope it doesn't. If people can't do creative work, like edit and render videos on their own computer at home, and they have to, borrow it, from a cloud service from Amazon just to do that, It's really bad. This goes beyond gaming. It's basically just anything that involves, being able to have a tech at home that you can do what you want with. So, yeah, some really bad trends. I'm not going to pretend those aren't happening. But, in my day to day, I've learned this. There's plenty in life to worry about, and worrying really won't ever do you good. Worrying doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't even help you get ideas about solving the problem. Worrying usually kind of stifles you. And it's hard to be informed on a lot of this stuff and not worry. I'm still practicing that because I think it is good to be informed. But worry, like the active process of worrying about it, really not good. My goal for myself is to make gaming something that is good for me because I love gaming. It's a hobby I don't want to stop doing, but it's got to be good for my health. In order for it to be good for me, sometimes I need to disengage with a lot of this stuff. Like when I play a game, I really try to just enjoy it as a work of art, as the developers intended for it to be experienced. Like, if I want to play Far Cry 4, would it enhance my experience to think about, like, the latest Ubisoft news, to fill my mind with worries about, oh, what if they go out of business and then all my Ubisoft purchases get delisted? What if, whatever bad thing, and, I was reading about how Ubisoft, they have these bad practices as a company and all this. That's going to distract me from getting into the fictional world of Kirat and enjoying the story. Right, so if I want to play that game, I shouldn't be thinking about all that news. I just want to get into the game and enjoy the escape, the escapism, get lost in the fantasy, right? And I think that's the best way to enjoy a game for what it is. Now, I'm not perfect at this, but I'm really trying to separate all the new stuff from my core enjoyment of gaming. Now, if you're involved in the industry, if you're involved in a way where you can make a difference, of course, it's great to speak out. Even if you're just like me, like a kind of a nobody, it's still good to speak out. Like, I want to have a following of people that I can tell, hey, go get indie games on GOG Galaxy and support DRM-free sales. And make a difference there, Like, I love when I see, like, a big personality shining a spotlight on, like, an indie developer and helping get attention in places where, the industry have kind of left them behind. I think it's great overall just to, advocate for things you believe in general. But it's also important to do a mental health check and make sure that the news and all the bad things, there's always bad things happening in the world. You gotta make sure it doesn't consume you. Again, I'm making an effort to do better with this. I get caught up in it sometimes. A lot of times. It's tough, but I think it's really worth it to take steps to make sure you have fun and enjoy your life. Like, you as an individual, when you're playing a game, you should be getting lost in its world and not thinking about, oh, I heard that the publisher of this game might get sold and they'll lay off their people. Like, when you're trying to just enjoy a video game after, a long day of work, you're trying to unwind, you personally shouldn't be worrying about all that stuff. It's just too much. Now, there's something people do where, like, something bad happens, and certain people do this. They say, just go to work, you quit whining. Like, some people will say something kind of similar to what I'm saying, but what they're really trying to say is, don't advocate for good things. Know your place, fall in line, don't stand up for what you believe in. Just, be a good sheep. I'm not saying that. I don't want any association with those people. They might say some similar things to what I'm saying, but what they mean is the complete opposite of what I'm saying. I'm not here to say, quit trying to raise awareness, for, like, the fact that AAA publishers don't care about their employees. No, I'm saying, do care. Do speak up. But make sure you look out for your own health. When I start getting, stressed about like the future dystopia of gaming being this shitty rental service, um, I disengage and I step away from that and I get lost in a nice game world where I can take my mind off it because not because I don't care and not because I don't want to care, but because worrying and getting caught up in that only hurts my own mental health. And this is actually this is connected to a Christian teaching, and there are probably teachings from all over that might give you a similar message. Which is this saying that if you hold anger in your heart towards someone, that makes you a murderer at heart. Even if you don't actually hurt the other person, it does something to you. And another one, and this is all coming from the Sermon on the Mount, spoken by Jesus, by the way, if you're wondering. Another saying that ties into this is, worrying will not add an hour to your life. You should never worry about tomorrow or another day. Every day has its own set of worries, and that's sufficient. And basically what that's saying is that if you hold on to like negative mental energy, whether it be, anxiety about something or frustration or anger, it only hurts you. Even though tomorrow is a very real thing, tomorrow's coming, and whatever happens tomorrow will come. Don't waste mental energy replaying bad potential future scenarios out in your head. Oftentimes they don't happen, and when they do happen, it's not as bad as you think. And without going into detail, actually, there was something that I was kind of worried about that actually happened, but I can tell you, and again, I won't go into details, but I can tell you when it actually happened, it was like 10% as bad as I imagined it would be. Like, I shouldn't have even worried. Even though the thing happened that I was worried about, it was nowhere near as bad as I imagined it. So, like, in all areas of your life, but including this, because we're talking about gaming. Really, gotta watch out for your mental state, and you can be a better agent of change if you take care of yourself. So, don't worry about, like Xbox might shutter a bunch of their studios. It's concerning, but don't worry. Like, don't get in an active state of worrying. Well, anyways. So, in summary, there's always a lot of bad news happening in the world, but try your best to focus on the good things. Speak for what you believe in, yeah, but make sure you take time to unwind, enjoy, make sure you charge your battery back up. I'm going to play some more Death Stranding and build a bunch of roads in the fictional Kojima world, whatever it is that he built. He and his team built it with love, and I can get lost in that. And then I'll have more energy to talk about all this stuff, that I want to share. So, I think that's, really essential. Like, let your battery recharge. Don't spend your free time worrying. Spend your free time enjoying something positive. So, anyways, till next time, happy gaming.